Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today, bringing you a Fallout 4 wishlist video. Now, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description to my previous video. That is why you should not play Fallout 3 on consoles, and it is like my favorite video ever. Anyways, this series is created by your comments, so be sure to let me know in the comments section down below what you would like to see in the next installment of the Fallout franchise. If your comment is awesome enough, you will be featured along with two other commenters, just like Snillometer. He says, I'd really love to see better kill cam finishers in Fallout 4. I think they can expand on this from Skyrim. I loved how if you did a sneak attack, you could slit the person's throat. One kill cam finisher in Fallout 4 could be that you shoot someone's leg or foot off and they slowly fall to the ground while you walk up to them and shoot them with a pistol or something. It would make combat in the game feel that bit more special, which it needs. Okay. So, I like this idea for a number of reasons. I don't know if I necessarily, I have to admit, agree with your idea of the Fallout 4 kill cam finisher. I feel like that's a bit too stretched out. But if there's one thing I can guarantee, is that Bethesda's not going to take a step back. You know, their game before Skyrim was Fallout 3, and Fallout 3's kill cams were buggy and kind of messy, as cool as they were. Where in Skyrim, they were cleaned up a bit, and they were versatile, where depending on what you were using, I believe even at one point, or I think it was through mods, there was archery kill cams and stuff. And so I don't think that Bethesda is going to go ahead and regress and forget these kill cam finishers, but it doesn't hurt to add them. Now, I mentioned that Fallout 3s were buggy and messy, and that's something that I don't want to have repeated in the next installment of Fallout, okay? Because the amount of times my game locked up in this kill cam section, or the amount of times it's slow-moed on a body I killed like 30 seconds ago and it's still staring at it. It's like, okay, come on, end the sequence, let's go, I want to move now. I want that gone. And that even happened in Skyrim, where they kind of followed the dead body down, and while he's on the ground, you're like, okay, I got him. And then it's like 5 seconds later, it's like, okay, I got him. Can I walk now? And that's something that really needs to be fixed in Bethesda games, because it's kind of immersion breaking. And also, another fact is that the enemies around you, if you got multiple enemies around you while you're doing this kill cam, and you're staring at this body, they're hacking away at you, man. And it's unfair as well to not be able to defend myself because the game locks me on a dead body. But nonetheless, I don't think, like I said, they're going to regress with your ideas for kill cam finishers. I think they'll make them brutal and really explosive in terms of Fallout. But I do want them cleaned up from a bug perspective. Anyways, moving on to the next wish from Dom Andrew. I really like this one. It's a bit different from what we usually talk about. He says, here's my wish. Stop dumbing down our games. Bethesda dumbed down Skyrim so bad it feels like it was meant for a 7-year-old. People who like Fallout are generally smart. Challenge us and keep the game intellectually stimulating. I agree with this to a degree, I would say. I don't think Skyrim was tailored to a younger child. But I have to agree that in retrospect, even though Skyrim is one of my favorite games ever, I have to say that really, it's a very simple game. It's a matter of just walking whatever direction you can go. And now that's not an easy game to craft to make it that good when you're exploring and everything and have so much dynamic stuff going on. But in the terms of, you know, the quest lines and really thinking your way through stuff, a severe lack in puzzles, stuff like that, where or thinking your way through a conversation where you could end up regretting a choice you made, not because of the game's writing, but because of what you were saying. You were kind of pinning yourself in a corner. Stuff like that, I'm assuming he's talking about. I wouldn't categorize Fallout fans and Elder Scrolls fans being stupid and Fallout fans being smarter than them, but I agree that the old school Fallout games do require a good amount of intelligence. You can't kind of go in there like I hate to use the word, but almost like a casual and expect this robust experience. You have to be dedicated to games and really think your way through tactically and stuff. And I'm assuming that's another thing you may want, is more tactical battles. And so I agree, let's not dumb down these games, you know, because I know as Bethesda expands and, you know, they made so much money off of Skyrim, you think to themselves, well, maybe we should expand to a wider audience. But they have mentioned in the past that they do want to stick to that hardcore RPG crowd, because they realize that if they make a game good enough in that genre, people will enter it. And so I don't think you really have to worry, Dom, but in the same token, I can kind of understand why you do. So overall, I think we should trust in Bethesda in this, but it is worth mentioning that we don't want our games dumbed down. Ubisoft is a bit guilty of this, repeating constant types of development cycles and constantly using the same formula in games. But anyways, moving on to the final wish from Kyle Bolton, my boy Kyle. He says, I'm going to forever suggest this. A mercenary company that is treated similar to MGS Peace Walker and a war table like Inquisition where you send out your employees. Now, I have not played any Metal Gear Solid games. I've yet to get on that. I'm hoping that at some point during 2015, there will be a free space where I can play the HD collection I currently own digitally on my Vita. Anyways, moving on. The war table. That's what I want to focus on here. If there's one thing I really did like about Inquisition, it was this war table. But there was one thing I didn't like about it from Inquisition that could be vastly improved upon in Fallout. In Inquisition, you unlock the little separate areas you could explore through talking to your companions or unlocking certain quest lines, and I want more of that. And by this I mean, okay, I send out an employee to collect something for me, they bring something back, I investigate what this thing is, and it leads to this kind of chain of quests where eventually I can unlock a separate area off the map or something, someplace I couldn't originally access. While I say that, I'm not saying that you block off certain areas. I'm saying that maybe I go through a brief loading screen, I'm on a place that's off the map that I can only access through this war table. Stuff like that would kind of give me the option of, instead of just doing stuff seamlessly in the background, it's just kind of like time stuff and you come back, you collect your money, you really don't care what's going on, which I felt was the issue with Inquisition. Perhaps we can incorporate more Fallout mechanics like you run your own caravan company. Something along those lines I think would be actually very cool. So yeah, I'd love to see the inclusion of a war table, but kind of minus the drawbacks of it from Inquisition. I feel like a lot of games are really going to take after that because it's a pretty cool feature. But anyways, you could also maybe incorporate in some way moral decisions and stuff. You know, do you get greedy? Do you get really nice and kind of try to help people along the way? Stuff like that I think could really work out in Fallout. But what do you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If your comment is awesome enough, you will be featured in the next video with 2 other commenters. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.